welcome to this week's GeekStorm. We're going to cover some comic books, a little geek news, and The Hobbit, which we didn't see. But it's
late.
okay.
It was late.
Yeah, it was late, and you know, there's logistics involved.
3 hour. I mean, a 3 hour movie at midnight. That's commitment, and
It is.
I'm not sure.
I'm committed. I just
Should be committed and committed are not the same thing. What's going on your geek news pad there? This is chock full of geek news.
And it says GeekStorm at the top because apparently I should be committed and I can't keep my stuff straight. So.
All right. What do we want to talk about today?
We're going to talk about a little Batman versus Superman news.
Okay. Still untitled, but that's what people are calling it right now.
Yeah. What else are you going to call it? I mean.
I don't know. I hope it's not called that. I really do. I hope it's more. There's World's Finest.
Yeah.
They might even call it. They might even transition this into a Justice League movie because of all the casting news we're hearing lately.
Right. Well, and the casting news is exactly what we have right now. Jason Momoa.
Excellent. Jason Momoa.
Yeah, from Game of Thrones.
And Conan.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he is cast in a role that nobody's sure of yet. It looks like he's probably going to be a villain. Just looking at him, he's very villainesque. Doomsday.
It's very judgmental. It's very judgmental of you. Just the way he looks, he's a villain. How about me? Definitely the hero, obviously, but go ahead with your.
You know that little dog?
What's he possibly cast as?
I was trying to do that. Doomsday, the Kryptonian killing machine.
Just Doomsday is good enough.
Or the.
Or the Martian Manhunter. I can read your handwriting from here. He could be the Martian Manhunter, which is another Justice League figure, or he could be Doomsday.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say. Doomsday would be the big villain that you think he should be because he's got a brow like that. He's got a brow like the Martian Manhunter. I'll be honest. The way he does have that look.
He's got scary eyebrows. He needs some manscaping.
Yeah. But he's a fan favorite in sci-fi and stuff. I mean, because Game of Thrones is awesome, and he played a great part in the first season. And it's really hard to say, which role he'll take or which role they've got in mind for him.
It's another one of those, kind of, in my opinion, I feel like they're casting a very young, trendy, good-looking crew.
I don't know that he's good-looking, but you're right.
He is good-looking.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In a creepy villain sort of way.
Depends on what you're attracted to, I suppose.
Yeah. I'm attracted to creepy villains, I guess. I don't know.
Kind of a Snidely Whiplash type.
Yeah.
Right? I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Not really.
All right.
That would creep me out.
Yeah, they haven't said if they're going to call it Batman vs Superman or what, but they did we talked about Wonder Woman last week. And,
right.
I would think if this is a Martian Manhunter, they are definitely going in that direction as far as a Justice League type of precursor, but I would think that they would have the wherewithal to think, well, we can still do Batman, Superman, and then do Justice League and make twice as much money, so they probably won't do that.
Yeah, I really hope they don't. Really, I mean, you get too many characters in there, and it's really going to detract away from the epicness of Batman and
I think
Superman.
people are putting too much emphasis on how large of a role that Wonder Woman will have. I mean, essentially, Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman are the Justice League. They're who you want to see. They're the main characters that you want to see, but we don't know how big her role is going to be in it. It could be kind of a passing thing, just kind of a setup for a Justice League movie. So
she could just walk by and go, hey, hey.
She
hey.
could. She's never done that. But
she might.
She might.
My Wonder Woman
I
does.
yeah. All right, what else?
Godzilla.
Godzilla, that's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Trailer. Did you watch it?
I did just now. I watched the trailer. It's very good.
I thought so. Did you? You read my notes already, so
yes, I did. I read the first page of your notes.
Okay. I can't read them, so it's a miracle that you did.
The trailer was very visually stunning. Kind of had some looks that we'd never seen before on film. The beginning with the Halo jump was really cool.
Yes, that was very beautiful. It was
when
very
you watch
dramatic.
That, you get a feeling of, the voice says, "Hey, you've never gone into anything like this before," and then when they show the the view of the jumper, the Halo jumper, and from inside the mask, and you hear his breathing and stuff like that. That's very it's stifling. And I don't want to cross lines.
Climactic.
Yeah. It's a lot like, honestly, it's a lot like what it is on Fire. It's because when he's going through the clouds and you don't see anything, before he breaks through to see the city that's all devastated and whatnot. It's like that. I mean, you can see this, and you can't see or hear any, or all you hear is loud, and it's pretty wild. So that's what it reminded me of, anyway.
Okay. I thought, this was like one of the best trailers I've seen recently. It was created in a really mindful, cinematic way. It had built you up, had great transitions. It made sense. It made you want more. When I got done, I was like, I'm gonna go see that.
I got the feeling the trailer really set it up to where, since you're following this guy that's jumping, you, the viewer, don't know anything about what's going on. He didn't know anything about what's going on. So you everything was kind of revealed all at the same time, just like it would be to you if you were that guy. So it was pretty cool. And then at the very end, you really don't get a great look at him, but you get a
through this
very iconic,
the smoke and dust and debris. You're just getting glimpses of these the dinosaur type blades on the back, and then it pans up and to the headshot, and he lets out this huge roar, which it was great.
Good trailer.
Good trailer. Good job. I care what I say, but okay. Did you hear about the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes movies coming out?
Well, I knew about it, but I didn't hear anything new about it. Is there something?
Well, the trailer for it is supposed to release next Wednesday, and they just released like the first posters for that, so that should be exciting.
I really liked the last one. I thought it was pretty good. I'm not a huge James Franco fan, but I don't know if he'll be in the second one or not, but he did a decent job, and I really liked the movie itself.
Okay. World War Z. We've reviewed that on this show.
We have.
Yeah. I don't remember. What did you say about it?
What did I say about it?
Yeah.
I say I liked it because it was a different take on the zombie movie. It was more of an investigation into the medical side of it, and a lot less about the zombies themselves and the grotesqueness of flesh being ripped and stuff like that. Now, I don't know that it needs a second one, but
well, and that's what the news is that we already knew there was going to be a second one, but they have a new producer or director, a new director, and Juan Antonio Bayana, or something.
You say?
The Impossible, he directed that.
Okay.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that
either. Joe Cornish is no longer going to direct the Star Trek 3 movie.
Right. It's getting, since Abrams has kind of jumped off of it, it's getting a lot of back and forth with different creators, because it'll be tough to, you've got this thing that's already incredibly successful.
Iconic.
So exactly, and so somebody doesn't want to go in and drop the ball. So it's going to be tough to find somebody that will take the reins and still do a great job like he did. I love both those movies, those newer movies. They're really good.
Okay. I think that's about all we have in the way of geek news. So, in the wonderful world of comics.
I only read 2 comics this week. One is actually from last week, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it. It's called Black Science. This is the blank cover, but there's different covers. Some comics come in blank covers, so you can go to conventions and have sketches done on them and stuff like that. This is a very it's an independent book by Image. It's a very visually stunning book. It's got
visually stunning.
Visually stunning. Visually stunning. Unfortunately, I think that they may rely on that to make it a success, in that it's got that real 60s type of different world look, where there's there's frog creatures over here, and there's giant mushrooms, and they rely on, for me anyway, the pages rely on that in order to keep you interested in it. The story's just okay. The story is very much like a Space Family Robinson. It's this it's a group of scientists, some of them a family, in a different dimension-ish type of thing. Dimension-ish, not a word. And them running from one thing after another to try to get away so they can make another jump to get somewhere else. Okay. And then you've got that Dr. Smith character that's kind of a, standoffish, trying to take charge type of guy. And it's just okay. I hope it gets better. I hope the story gets a little bit better. But Black Science is definitely worth a read if you get a chance to read it. The second one is Justice League 3000. This is another Justice League launch, jump off point.
Yeah. It was a big thing that this came out.
Exactly.
This past week.
Well, see, on the Marvel side, there are probably, I'm going to say half a dozen Avengers titles, and there are almost as many Justice League titles on the DC side. So this is just another way to capitalize on that Justice League name, but still have another set of stories and get $4 more from you if you're a Justice League fan. This one's set in the future in 3000. They did a good thing in getting Giffen and DeMatteis to do the plot and the script. They're very famous for doing one of the best Justice League relaunches back in the late 80s, early 90s. But they kind of dropped the ball in not getting Maguire, who was the artist of that era too, to be in there, and that would really bring fans in, I think. This story is just okay. It's not Justice League. That is not. I mean, that's not the Superman, the Batman, and all that. I mean, this is the year 3000.
Kind of a spin-off.
The idea behind this is you've got these two twins that are, which you often have two twins. They have created, from what you know, some type of. I don't think they're clones, but they're some type of people that they've imbued with the powers of the different Justice League. Okay, so there's this person who has all the memories of Superman, but isn't really Superman, and has the powers and whatnot, and they have a real conflict with Batman and Superman, and so it's just okay. Give it a shot, give it a chance if you want. Batman and Superman, if you really want to go in that direction, is the Batman Superman book and the Superman Wonder Woman book are both very, very good. They came out this week also. Okay. Superman Wonder Woman did. So
yeah, it was a good week for comic books. So really says Sean Hilton, who is not here today.
Slacker.
Yeah, and also I want to thank you for clarifying how many people it takes to be twins.
You often have two twins.
Yes,
you rarely have three, and it's impossible to have one, unless they were in the other room. I guess you're still a twin if your twin isn't there, aren't you?
I think so.
Okay.
Yep.
Not up on my genealogy.
You're amazing.
That's it for the world of comics, though.
It is.
What's next? What's next?
Well, I guess we're going to move on
Okay.
to a movie review. All right, we're in the movie review segment, and for this episode, we will be reviewing The Hobbit, Desolation of the Smaug. However you want to say it, it's your own preference. So, what do we think of this movie?
What did you think, Mike?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to review it as if I'd seen it because I didn't see it. It was
I told
pretty.
you not to say that.
Oh yeah, okay.
You saw it.
I didn't see the movie. I saw it. It was good.
It was me, by myself, alone, surrounded by a bunch of teenagers.
How many people were there? This is midnight last night.
I got there an hour early.
Wow.
And I was expecting a big line, and there was nothing.
So when the movie rolled, how many you think? More than 10?
It's
less than 50?
because you didn't listen to me, because nobody shows up that early.
I told you, you were right, because by the time the movie started rolling...
I just like to hear
That's
that.
all she wanted to hear.
I know. It was pretty packed by the time it started rolling.
No kidding. Wow.
Because you started having, first it was,
like
ones...
how packed? Like you...
80%?
Probably 75.
75%.
That's not that packed.
But for midnight, that's pretty good, though. They've been doing the 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock movies on Thursday nights, the Thursday night before release, and those, depending on the movie, they may get 10 people, they may get 50. In relation
to Thor, was it more crowded than Thor?
It's about the same. Okay. But I think a lot of people went to that 3D throwing at it. 3D throwing.
Watch out, it's coming towards you.
You're making it rain there for a second.
3D showing at 8:30.
It's like card shuffling, like
No,
dealers.
No, it isn't.
Something, I don't know.
No, it isn't. Go ahead.
I should go on record here and put my geek cred on probation. I have never read any of the Hobbit books, Lord of the Rings trilogy. I wasn't that big of a fan of the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. I did like The Hobbit, so I went into this one hoping for something great. I won't say my hopes were met, per se.
Okay. Well, we've been watching this trailer for a very long time. It's a, it was a beautiful trailer. I couldn't wait to see it.
Is that it?
No, go on.
Yeah, I was sad. I had a sad moment there.
No, visually, it's a beautiful film. But they shot this at 48 frames per second, which normally it's 24 frames per second in film, so you get kind of a soft hue. So certain things like computer graphics and whatnot, you can get away with certain things. 48 frames per second, everything is very, very crisp.
Right.
So there are a number of times when I caught myself going fake, green
I
screen.
hate that. I hate when you see something in a movie that reminds you that you're sitting in a movie theater.
It takes you out of the moment.
It happened
Yeah.
a
I really
lot
hate that.
in this film.
I was quoting you there.
You were?
Takes you out of the moment.
I'm very quotable. One of the things I did not like about the first Hobbit movie was, and for me in general with movies, is some of the big set impossible action that happens, like in the first one with the down in the not troll, but the goblin caves and whatnot. All the stuff that was happening, which was kind of cool, but it reminded me so much of, like, say, Pirates of the Caribbean and all these big. It seems like almost sometimes people have a stunt in mind and they need to get you there, so they make up all this stupid junk to get you to that big stunt. And I just don't like that so much.
There were the barrel scene in this movie reminded me of that very much.
Okay.
My first thought was, instead of dwarves, they should have been clowns popping out of a clown car. 'Cause that's kind of how they were acting,
I see.
flipping around and
Right.
going into barrels and whatnot. Legolas was not, in the book, Legolas doesn't appear,
Right.
but he's in this movie.
Right.
He's a Terminator.
Really?
No expression, very stoic, and he's a killing machine.
Wow.
It's like playing a video game. Have you ever played Assassin's Creed? That's exactly what it reminded me of, because he was just death with blades. Everywhere he went, orcs were...
Now, like Assassin's Creed, did he sneak up on somebody 4 or 5 times and die, and then decide, okay, I'm just going to kill everybody in the room instead?
Yeah, and then he jumped off a giant tower, fell into a hay bale, and kept going. Very strange.
All right.
And then they also introduced another elfin character. Evangeline Lilly plays Toriel, I believe is her name. Again, not in the books. And this is where they kind of set up a soap opera element. Traditionally, in most...
What do you mean by a soap opera element? You might need to clarify.
Hold on a second. Traditionally, in Lord of the Rings or any kind of fantasy setting, you have dwarves and elves and they don't get along.
Correct.
So they set up a love interest between one of the dwarves,
Oh.
Keely, I believe. I think that's his name, and her.
The Montagues and the Capulets.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's captive, and she's, walking by, and they just kind of had that eye contact, and then they start kind of talking, and it goes on and on. She ends up saving his life, and Legolas has a thing for her, and she's kind of aloof to that. Instead, she's got the eyes for this dwarf, so they just kind of shove that in there nonchalantly. There's a lot of action scenes. The big thing was
Shove it in there.
shove it in, was Smaug. And for a giant dragon, there wasn't, other than him pacing around his giant treasure room, there wasn't a whole lot of...
This is voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch, who was in the last Star Trek movie, and then also is Sherlock on
Holmes.
BBC. He's one of my favorite newish actors. I mean, newish to us anyway. We haven't really seen him in that much, but I wondered in the trailers if his voice was so auto-tuned or so manipulated that if it actually sounded like him or not.
There were moments. Largely, no, you couldn't tell, but there was one. It's almost as if they had left off the modification because you could, oh, that's Benedict. But for the most part, no, you couldn't really tell. It could have been anybody. And then Bilbo, you got a lot more of him dealing with the ring. He uses it a lot,
Did he?
and it kind of starts to play with his head.
Martin Freeman's one of my favorite newer actors also. I mean, new to us. There's so much that happens overseas that by the time it gets to us, they've had whole careers over there. Same with, and I digress a little bit, but Jackie Chan, as Americans, we didn't really get a hold of Jackie Chan until he's like 45 years old, right?
He already had a slew of
Oh my gosh,
filmography.
yes.
Yeah.
So by the time they started making movies with him that were Hollywood movies, he was well past his prime, still amazing. And the same with some of these actors from the BBC now, like Netflix and cable in general has introduced so many more people into the BBC, which has taken like the Doctor Who numbers from 7 to up to like there's well over 12 people now that watch Doctor Who. So
12?
it's in the low teens. Might even in the low teens.
You know
Wow.
what? That's almost as many people as watch our show.
That is so true. Probably the same ones. Let's be honest. Probably the same 15 people watch this show. But yeah, I really like Martin Freeman. He was really good in that last World's End, the last Simon Pegg movie. A good actor, and I was really happy with him, what he did in The Hobbit. So if this, would you say this is exactly the same as, or as good as, or as bad as, however you want to say it, as the first movie? Is it more of the same? Is there anything different about it that you like more or better?
I think I like it better. It's got a slightly darker tone to it. You get a little more in-depth with all the characters. Actually, it starts off a year prior to the first one.
Really?
You get to actually see how Thorin and Gandalf meet. Thorin's just sitting in a tavern, and Gandalf just comes walking right up and sits down.
Right.
Thorin's like, okay, who are you? He's like, yeah, I knew your dad. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told him. You need to go take back that mountain.
Did he react better to Gandalf than Wolverine did to Ian McKellen as Magneto in the bar scene?
He did not tell him to, yeah.
He didn't? Okay.
No,
I just wanted the same actor. I just didn't know if it would be any different.
Nope.
Any different.
Did not tell him to
Okay.
go stuff himself. No.
Well, good. I'm probably going to go see it later this afternoon in the daylight where I know I'll stay awake because I'm too old to really. The 10 o'clocks are tough, and a 3-hour show at midnight.
You'll turn into like a pumpkin if you don't
Right.
go to bed.
Well, I have to eat all the crap from the concession stand to stay awake, and it's
because
just not
I
good.
know you love to buy this stuff from the concession
I'm trying.
stand.
I do.
Yeah, I know.
I take stuff in the movies sometimes. I do it. Okay. $5 is too much for a Coke. AMC, $5 is too much for a Coke. Okay. Sorry. It's ridiculous. Although I don't.
It's part of my entertainment. Like I'm
don't-
always like, what you got?
Normally it's a hamburger.
No,
Normally it's
I've never seen you bring a hamburger. I
yeah.
saw you post that you did once.
Yeah.
But it's always something like weird, like sunflower seeds or.
Well, sunflower.
like
That's a snack.
Bag
I mean,
of
it's
Nestle,
honestly,
whatever.
they can't take away my
So-
sunflower seeds. That's more of a personal type of snacky thing that I couldn't get at the. I can see if they got mad about a hamburger.
You can
or a hot
buy a little.
dog. I take the Chinese in all the
natural-
time. I take
Chinese?
Yeah. Not easy, but I did it.
Where'd you put it?
I had it in a shop. I'm not giving you my secrets. I'm not giving you my secrets.
Hey, did you know? Hey, this is totally cool. Did you know that the little containers from
Oh, geez.
Chinese? Shut up. You can take off the handle and it unfolds into a plate.
That's right.
It's amazing.
You know, the same thing with the little paper things you get of ketchup at a restaurant. You know, the
Oh.
little paper cups.
But why
they
would
go,
you want-
They go and they become like a larger bowl.
Why would you? want
More
that?
ketchup. Okay, more ketchup.
I like the rice.
That's a little life hack for you that just
Life hack.
you didn't know. Anything else that's ridiculous and doesn't have anything to do with anything?
I got lots of it. You know me.
Maybe a Kokomo event's going on?
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. We got shows for that now.
Oh, gotcha. Sweet.
Yeah, Inside Kokomo. It's a new
Nice.
show. It's getting ready to come out.
Sweet.
We're doing a holiday episode, so you guys want to check that out and follow us or me. It's me.
What is?
That's if you don't like me, you might not
We
want
didn't
to
talk
watch.
TV. We didn't talk TV this week, but April got cable and internet this week, so
Yeah.
look forward to seeing some more TV notes from April as she adopts a show. Or she's going to adopt one show at
He's
least.
trying to get me to adopt one show
Right.
so I can be
Because I watch like 12 shows.
sitting on my butt for like
An hour.
an hour. I can't do that. I can barely sit
You can
here.
wander around. You got the TV, you just kind of.
All right.
I'll pick a show. I'll pick a show that you need to watch.
I thought you liked Arrow.
I just don't like to sit down and watch TV.
Big Arrow episode this week.
heard about that.
Lots of happening. It's a good show. You need to watch it. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess this has been GeekStorm. We're a little short today. We're like kind of like hobbits.
I don't have my heels on.
You're a hobbit. I don't have hairy feet.
That bugged the crap out of me.
Might.
He had clown shoes. Bilbo had clown shoes. His feet were this big.
Okay. Well, clown shoes aside, we love you guys. This has been GeekStorm with Mike Dukes, April Thatcher, and Mike Harrison. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.